I don't think so. We just went live on TikTok for the first time now. Andres is checking it. Can you get the cubes?
Yes.
And just spread them out. All right. All right. Wow, today's a record, I think, 13 minutes late. Apologies for that. We were getting some stuff done on the back end, so we're
That's yours.
we're obviously starting here, but we have the YouTube stream, which we normally do, and for the first time, we started streaming on TikTok in this class. So if you, hopefully there's no technical difficulties or anything. Bruce, if you're able to look at YouTube, Andres is going to be looking at TikTok just to make sure that. He sent that over here? Yeah, if you can, go into, I guess, open TikTok and see. Is that coffee? I already went. All right, we got coffee on the way. Oh, or he's sharing coffee with everyone. No. We have some, he doesn't like our Starbucks coffee, so he's like, he brought his own. Cool. Is audio working on it? Yeah, cool. All right, let's see if we get one person there.
You already have your tube and everything?
Yep, everything's good. It's been a super interesting week in the world of e-com, so we got lots of stuff to go over. A lot of cool ChatGPT, Shopify stuff happened this week, which I'm not sure if anybody's impacted by that yet, in a good way, hopefully. We're getting close to, are we close or are we there? Yeah, no, we're here. Q4. I don't really see October, like internally, we don't really count October as our Q4. Like October doesn't really do anything for us. For us, November, December, January. Everyone says January's bad. January's always been really great for us. I think, I share this every year, but I think it has to do with, I guess retail stores is more of a thing and now everybody just repeats it, but 15% year over year, Andres, Amazon sells more gift cards. And gift cards are given as Christmas presents or around the holidays. They're given around that time as presents, and most of them are used in January. So January becomes stronger every year, and that's kind of been what I've seen. So there's that. Beginner hour, some announcements. Like I said, we're streaming on TikTok for the first time today, so we now have a TikTok called Wizards of Ecom. For those of you that go on TikTok, definitely follow the Wizards of Ecom one. The only thing that's going to happen on the Wizards of Ecom YouTube is to stream, I believe, right, Andres? Or are we posting anything on that? Yeah.
Have to, but it would be like
clips of the stream.
Yeah, that would be the most sustainable.
Yeah, so that'll happen, but it'll be cool if you follow, show it some love. It's a new channel. I still got the other channel I've been sharing with you guys that I started called @RealCarlosAlvarez. That one's doing phenomenal. Been testing a lot of stuff over there. That's been going really strong. Other announcements. I know several of you messaged me this morning because we put a post out there about where you can move your cabin to on the new ship. And then we immediately had another issue with Carnival. So that sailing is not secured anymore. So just hold off on any cabin purchases now until we can try to work it out. Carnival's giving us a really hard time with that. So what else? The podcast. I start re-recording the podcast after taking a slight break from it with the move and everything else we've had going on this week. So for those of you that have been asking me, like, when are we coming out with the next episode? It's very soon. I'll be reaching out to a lot of you here, especially those of you that attend regularly on Saturday or attend on the stream. I'll be reaching out to you to see if you want to be a guest on the show. Instead of just inviting the people that do the podcast circuit, we'll have some episodes here. I don't care if you've just started and you've been here 2 weeks, or you don't go and speak on stage. I don't care about any of that. We'll do an under the hood episode. It'll be real. I think it'll be more connectable to everybody in our community. It's something that I needed to pull back from the podcast after like 5 years for a while, just to get my bearings. Started feeling a lot like work. And I promise you, having a podcast is not, if it feels like work, I promise you one thing, you do not make much money running a podcast. So it's a passion project, and since it is a passion project, I need to have fun with it. I have fun doing this. Everybody else seems to be the biggest struggle is they can't find real sellers that don't also have this solution they're selling. Well, we have that. That's what we are. So I look forward to having hopefully all of you at some point on the show. I already have questions for you when you come on the show too. You, don't run. Based on some of the conversations you said on the YouTube meetup stuff that we do. It's got some interesting angles there I haven't been able to stop thinking of. But what else? Oh, the sponsors. Let me move this up so you can see our sponsors. There you go. You see it on the clicker on the bottom. We say no to more sponsors than we say yes to. So those sponsors that we have, they're good sponsors. I either work with them directly, or if I was so locked in with, say, a competitor of theirs that the switching was too painful, what I'd have them do is say, look, give me some licenses that I can give to some people in the group, let them stress test what you have going on, and they're going to come back and give me feedback on it. So I either work with all of them directly, or I know someone or several people who are and are getting great results. So if you're on the market for any of that, check them out. Our topic today, once we get through this beginner hour, is going to be 10 tools, or my 10 favorite tools, I think, that I use in my Amazon business. I'm going to keep it private label focused, because I could have a different set for a reseller. I could have a different set if it was an Amazon influencer approach. I'm going to keep it private label, and it's not just going to be a plug of every single sponsor we have. And then I'm going to share like what I don't want this to be is I don't want this to be a bashing of other softwares, right? Not every software is a good fit. I will have a common theme throughout it though, is that I think you should stay as lean as possible with these softwares. It's very easy to be spending a lot of money every month in recurring monthly softwares that you don't use or you're not maximizing. I'm going to show you some tips to get the pricing down on them. And yeah, I have some in there that are surprising to me, myself, as I was putting this list together. This used to be an episode that I did every single year on the Wizards of Ecom podcast. Towards the end of the year, when things are like really complicated and we wanted to keep it light, and it's like my top 10 podcasts or my top 10 tools. So I haven't done this in I think like 2 years. So it was there was a few that got on this list that were surprising to me. Anybody show up on TikTok yet, by the way?
Yeah.
Really? Tell them to say their name so that we could say they were TikTok numero uno. All right. I mentioned the cruise, I mentioned PLMA. We leave as a group to Private Label Manufacturers Association next month. Hotels are pretty much getting gobbled up. The hotels that are right across the street are gone. Like I've mentioned in the past, I've been going to this since before the meetups existed. And back then, it was very difficult to put together the, roughly $1,000 for the hotel and all that other jazz to make this trip. I stayed in the Motel 6s and I never had a problem. So you be the judge what your risk tolerance is. I thought they were fine. I just went there to sleep and to do business. The majority of the time anyway, we'll be having a meetup when we're not at PLMA. Your ankles are going to be swollen. It's a lot of walking, so like you're not going to be doing much exploring. It's usually pretty cold too. So we're literally shooting across the street. We'll probably have like little meetups in the lobby of the hotels that we have across the street. So you're literally only going to be going to your room to sleep. Unless you're Moises, who likes to party when we go out traveling. Moises in the back.
I've seen it.
I mean,
We have seen it.
life is short.
Life is short,
Says the youngest guy in the room.
says the youngest guy. Yeah. All right. So PLMA, if you're going to go, I mean, they're not going to run out of tickets for the show. It's my favorite show by far, and it is primarily food. That used to be a big turnoff to people because people believe that food is more complicated because of certificates and licenses and FDA and all that there. This is true if you decided to create a food product out of your kitchen. But since you're working with US-based factories, they have all that. So you inherit that, like you're getting that from them. The MOQs, minimum order quantities, are comparable or less than what you're accustomed to seeing in China, depending on what you're looking at. There's a learning curve to working with them. You know, when you're working with a factory in China, they have everything under one roof. Your packaging, putting it in the box, everything is one roof. Here, you may need to work with a co-packer, all domestic. So it's just little things you need to learn to make sense of it. As we get closer, we're going to start covering all that stuff. We'll have a dedicated group for those of you that are traveling, so we can stay in contact, you know, share. You know, if anyone wants to put out there, I'm looking for a specific vendor and you run across one, you can send a picture and we'll stay in contact. It's a great experience traveling to these shows as a group. You're gonna cover a lot more ground. You're gonna learn a lot more than if you went there by yourself. So if you're on the fence about going, I highly recommend it. I buy my ticket to the show at the show. Always have. I know that sounds a little reckless, but first of all, they never run out of tickets. And the tickets are $400 and $450, so I suspect they'll make an exception for you if you want to buy. And what else? The process for getting a ticket ahead of time is a royal pain in the you-know-what. So I just got tired of it, and instead, I buy my ticket the day of the show. Has anybody bought their ticket yet in advance? You did it? Yeah, you guys did? Good.
I'm sorry, what show is this? I'm sorry, I won't do that.
PLMA, Private Label Manufacturers Association. It's like November 18th in Chicago. That should be the last show that we do as a group for the year. I believe the next one will probably be Craft and Commerce again, closer to the middle of next year, which was a fantastic show. With everybody starting to get on the email bandwagon for their brands, I think everyone's going to be really ready to make the most of that show. That was a good one, right? Yeah. A lot of us are still executing on things we learned at that show. So.
Seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Are you able to share the stream with someone?
Yeah.
Share it with Madi. You guys connected?
Sure.
And GC, I guess?
I know, I thought I heard something about a workshop for KIT. Is that anything more for that, or?
Yeah.
A small workshop?
So, you're talking about here? Yeah, so I've not been able to get KIT to do a workshop for us. And the reason for that is, let me cover some ground, because if you've never heard me talk about KIT, or you've been gone from the group for a bit, this might just sound Greek. KIT is an email service provider. It used to be called ConvertKit. You can keep whatever email service provider you have. You don't have to switch to do this. But KIT has purchased something called Creator Network. And what that is an army of email newsletter creators who plug into this hub. So you still share your brand? I can mention your brand out loud? Yeah. So Captain Catnip here decides, I wanna grow my email list, but I don't feel like paying an arm, leg, and a kidney to Zuckerberg via Facebook ads to try to build this. And then when I do, a percentage of them, they're just in it for the freebie I needed to give away for the email. They don't really consume content via email. So he plugs into Creator Network and he's like, okay, I'm looking for newsletters that are talking about, you know, life is happier with cats. And just it is, right? Right. Yeah. So there's a lot of content and a lot of newsletters that are just cat enthusiasts, people that love cats. But these newsletters, they're not selling products. They create content. But all of those people are potential customers for you, for Captain Catnip. So you connect your newsletter to them, and a price is determined on the back end. And I'm simplifying a lot of things here, by the way. that says, okay, every time somebody from these other massive newsletters opens their newsletter, they're going to be greeted with a dialog box that says, if you love this newsletter, you're really going to love this one. And it shows his newsletter, pre-check box. As long as they hit yes, then receive an email to double opt in and say, yes, I want in. At that point, 40 cents will travel over from his bank to their bank. So he only pays once somebody double opts in and gets in there. You're not gonna acquire people that affordably anywhere else. And these are people that want to consume content via email and that are very clearly the people you want to get your stuff in front of. So that's what Kit does. Kit has Creator Network. And then there's a lot of other stuff that we've gotten into, like SparkLeap that they own in different ways that you can monetize too, because when someone opens your newsletter, you could greet them and say, well, if you really love my newsletter, you're really going to love these other three. And when they opt into those, guess what? Captain Catnip now gets paid, offsetting some of the 40-cent cost per acquisition that he was doing anyway. So it's a really, really great thing to do. They put on a show called Crafting Commerce every year. It's really good. My first one that I went to was the last one. The other two, I couldn't make it last second, but it was on my radar for a while, and several of us went, and it was great. But the question is, for some people, getting it all set up is a bit complicated, and other people are trying to basically work out ways where they can make money. Nothing wrong with making money. Work out ways to make money to kind of offer this as a service to people to get it done. What I'm trying to do, and we just opened a few newsletters this week. We just went through the whole process, but we documented every step to turn it into a training. The idea is we're just going to create that and we're going to give it to the group for free. So you'll be able to, anybody that wants to go through step by step, you're going to be able to get it, you'll be able to get it for free. Now, the reason why I can't get Kit to do the workshop is they only want to work with content creators that create content for newsletters. What we're doing as sellers is we're kind of what we're known to do. We're seeing an opportunity and we're like, okay, we'll create a newsletter just as a vehicle to help our physical products. That's what we're really into. So for them, that's not really in the spirit of content creators. Like, how many people here identify as a content creator? Right, very few, right? Yeah. But if you were to ask their people, every single hand would go up. Like, that's what they do. So it doesn't seem like it's a good fit. And the types of questions we have are not really their types of questions. This demographic, us, is so new to them, they don't know how to approach it. They're not anti, but they're like, is this worth my time? So we're gonna need to do that on our own. The other part that you might be asking about a workshop is, once you have it all set up, some people get stuck on, what in the world do I talk about? How do I stay organized with it? How frequently should I post these emails? The aesthetic of the email itself, like how to create a nice template, where do you insert placements for your products, how often, all that jazz. I'm working on it, but I don't have a date for it yet. But it'll definitely be coming. It's something I believe is a priority for people that start a brand. It's a main topic of conversation in our PL Accelerator. You already have yours built, started?
Yes.
Yeah.
But as you said, I'm like stuck a little bit with, all those ideas and like you should give something valuable to readers. You need to give something interesting, eye-catching or readable. Because if it's just, a regular newsletter, no one will open it.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. I agree. But it doesn't have to be as complicated and as involved as you think either. I wish, I don't know how to do it from here, but Erica on our team, she's been on the back end working on that for a bit, and we're about to launch maybe end of next week a content creator newsletter called Creator Superhero. She 6 months, a year, let's say a year ago, well, yeah, January, like when did she start? January? She started in January, right? A year? Less than a year ago, she was known as the person that doesn't do social media. Like,
That's true.
right? And then she went all in figuring out TikTok. She was not a content creator. And now she put together this newsletter. It looks fantastic, I think. Yes, I think it looks fantastic. And if afterwards we have some time, I don't mind. She sent me the credentials because I wanted to show it to my wife. But I'll pop it open and show you. It's minimalist, basic, but you have something actionable you walk away with. And that's really everything you can ask for in a newsletter. Yeah.
So, yeah, this is what I wanted to ask you, like, 2 weeks ago. Sometimes you do sessions when you set the listings on Amazon, saying I like this, I don't like
Yeah.
this. Can we do the same with our newsletters? Like, I
I'd be-
can send you mine, and you...
I could do a quick Loom video showing you why I like it, why I don't like it. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
you meant in the class.
Here, like in the class? Yeah, I could totally do that. Yeah, I mean, I don't have my laptop right now.
Maybe next time. I don't mean right now.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, if you have a newsletter you want to
Yeah.
get roasted, I'm happy to.
Oh, that's a really good.
Yeah, let-
Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll totally. I'll create a meetup. I'll create a meetup coming up in the next round that I create meetups, and I'll put something out there which will be roasting newsletters.
Because I feel like to his point, and I told you this, you automatically think, well, I should be a journalist to write a newsletter.
No.
Right, like, that's the overwhelming part of it, to get started. That's the, I guess, Tom says, well, once you start, it just flows. So to start, I think,
I use ChatGPT.
Yeah, we'll go
That's
through
what
it.
Tom does.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just like, I have 3 sections, like something interesting using real researchers with links to those researchers. Second, like I'm in the food, so I have a receipt for some healthy food. And the third, I'm trying to add something like valuable, like water consumption calculator, like when you input your weight, age, it gives you like how like many liters of water you need to consume every day or something like this. And then 3-5 links, affiliate links to Amazon.
Yeah, that's a lot of links
Yeah.
in a newsletter going to Amazon. I'd put like one max.
One link or one?
I'd have one little
topic?
ad placement in your newsletter. Depending on the length of your newsletter, I think
Just 3 buttons.
that's fine. 3's a lot of call to actions. Like,
But they're all related. If my overall newsletter topic is about like,
but for example, it's for 3 different products.
sorry?
It's for 3 different products on Amazon of the same brand.
No. They can be like, for example, my newsletter was like plant protein with like 2 types of protein.
Yeah.
And I was comparing 2 types of protein. And like a recipe, let's say, overnight oatmeal.
Mhm.
And then in the end, I had like jars for oatmeal. And I don't remember like some.
But are they brands you sell, or they're just you're getting an affiliate?
No. Just for now, it's just affiliate. But when
Send it to me, but in a future class too, I'm happy to roast it. I would caution, so far the newsletters that I've seen and through the accelerator, I've looked at a few outside of it. What I'm finding is the more heavily you rely on ChatGPT, let's just say AI, but I'm just gonna say ChatGPT, but the more heavily you rely on AI to the start of it, let's say the ideation of what you're gonna put in the newsletter, the crappier the newsletter actually came out to be. But if you approach it, like if you take the time to figure out like why someone would open the newsletter, what would get them to continue reading the newsletter, and a few other tips that we've gone over in the program, then AI becomes a really powerful tool for you to use in the newsletter, and it's much less slop. Cool? Tom?
So you were saying that you were stuck on the editorial part of it?
Andres? Andres? Anyone?
It's overwhelming. You just get started, because you feel like,
Peach, what's up, Peach?
where do I begin? I probably should be journalist writing like a great newsletter or,
No.
so I think the thought is just overwhelming.
So
But I think
I would give you like just a couple of steps so that it's not overwhelming. Like I always tell my kids, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? So just do one bite at a time. So like Carlos is saying, figure out what your newsletter is going to be about and what really is going to be readable, not just whatever ChatGPT says to write in your newsletter. Couldn't agree more with that. Start getting some newsletters yourself and reading what you like and what you don't like. Figuring out what your topic is for and who that newsletter is for. Before you even launch your newsletter, I personally believe that you should have 4 weeks, I prefer 5 weeks, of a newsletter, power banked and ready to go before you even launch it. This will give you that kind of time in between to kind of go, okay, I'm not running home on a Friday to write my newsletter. Oh my gosh, I gotta panic, and what am I gonna write about today? Because I know people that do that rush to go and write their newsletter. But I would power bank it, give yourself 4 or 5
Raja's
weeks
there.
of content that you know is ready to go.
Let's
so that you're not
go.
panicked. That would take some of the stress off. Really, it's what is your newsletter gonna be about? And then what's the format gonna look like? And then start filling it out. So kind of an easier way of approaching it, in my opinion. Does that make sense?
Carlos, I'd like to jump
We
in.
got a bunch of people on the TikTok
What?
stream.
The newsletter goes out any-
So it's an email newsletter. So it's an email, but it looks like, you know, your newsletter. So, you know, and one of the great things about using Kit is that's where your emails are stored. But when you send out, they call it a broadcast. So when you send out your newsletter, you can actually look in your newsletter and you can see what the open rate is like. So you can kind of say, okay, and I've noticed that some of the negative features, like these are the top 5 ways that you don't want to do this, get
Moises,
open more than
the
these
coffee's
are the
there.
best ways to do something. You know what I mean? So
In the front door?
yeah, you can see that and starts to gauge what gets open and what people like.
Cool. All right.
So
Kat.
Carlos, on the topic of newsletter, I'm still using automation like from Paperly or Reader to get my content and push it to my Facebook pages. Should I take a step back from that and dive into the ChatGPT world of that, or is that still adequate to just keep showing content by that means?
At the time, those were the best ones to use. I wouldn't. It's a really deep topic. Something that really came to mind to me is in the meetups, we cover a whole bunch of different topics and we can't go really deep on a lot of them. And then my answers need to be general enough for everyone for it to apply to. And in reality, I would answer this thing differently for each person, right? So I got a rose. Somebody sent me a rose. I got 16 roses on TikTok. All right, so, yeah, please. So,
Caesar says hi, Cap says hi.
hello, everyone. This is so general, but I don't want to go too deep into the weeds, but you can create a lot of like, what do you want to call it, a GPT or a project or whatever you want to call it, and really get it dialed in with the types of articles that you want to be talking about. We recently got BuzzSumo back, and we set up, there's some cool integrations that go immediately from BuzzSumo straight into Gemini, which would be Google's. We're preferring that. I still say ChatGPT a lot when in reality we're using Gemini. That will get it, and you'll be able to create some automations that will instantly turn them into some pretty interesting articles. Part of what's hard in this to answer is that, like a YouTube course I just took, he said there's no one way to create a script or a newsletter, but that doesn't help anybody here that's trying to get started. If anything, you say that because you're like, it's really easy, just do whatever you want. As a matter of fact, if you followed the rules, breaking the rules would help you stand out. So there's no rules, but that doesn't help you. So I would say a simple way to get started and just have something, and please remember before you go too deep on this, this is not the only way. It's just a simple way that you can do this. once you've figured out your avatar, your group of people that you're going after, it's going to start making a lot of sense. Like I would say, pick an event that's super popular in the world, athlete, famous person, anything like that. Start with it, but don't say who it is. Go into the lesson a lesson that can be learned from that. And ahead of time, you might have said, look, I'm trying to write an article on preparing for the winter. And maybe it's for a cat, I don't know, for a cat. But imagine how somebody's going to be blown away if you're able to get an athlete and how they prepared for the winter and say, in reality, how this happens actually no different than cats. You're like, oh my God, I've never heard this angle before. You're not going to get that sort of content from the paperlies and stuff like that. So AI is really going to be your best friend there, but you want to be able to still pull from like real world content, real world stories. Yeah. A grande brown sugar, oat milk shake, and espresso. Only 180 calories. All right, so we're in the beginner hour for another like 16 minutes. And then we're going to get into the topic of the 10 tools that I use in my business. What other questions do we have about selling? Yeah.
Have you ever used Notebook?
Yes, absolutely. Have I ever used Notebook LM? I love Notebook LM. Yeah. I will tell you that for like the last 3 to 4 weeks, I've not used it as much because I've been a lot more focused on ways. We're like HubSpot Enterprise and Google Enterprise on stuff. So Gemini is where it's at for us. I think Gemini is the dominant. It depends what you're trying to do, but all things being equal and trying to be as impartial as possible, since we already use Google products, I think Gemini is one of the best ones out there in the US.
Can you give a summary of what Notebook LM is?
Notebook LM is a way, that's a really good question. So in my own words, it would be a way to limit the amount of information your AI can pull from, if you will. So like what I'll do is say, I like the content that my personal trainer creates. I like the content that BioCell creates and my blood work. And then insert a diet. Say you liked carnivore diet or whatever, but I like my trainer's diet that he creates. I input all that in, and now when I ask it questions, I can ask it to limit its answers to what I inputted. And it'll give me specific information about the content that I put in, and not just like hallucinate and start pulling things from the rest of the web. And then I can create all these different notebooks. Like I could create a notebook every time I get something done with my car, and I could stick that, receipt or what they said was wrong with the car and everything like that. And then over time, just say, look, based on what you're seeing here, what's the next thing that could go wrong with my car? And what could I do to prevent that? Or
Caesar is asking if you can repeat the question.
yeah, your question? It was an example about what to use, how I would use Notebook LM or how I'm using Notebook LM. I've mainly used it for health stuff. And when I asked it, like for example, I get my blood work done at BioCell, and I'm checking everything. Hormones, just every single thing you can possibly get out of it. And what happened is, afterwards, I go sit down with a doctor. It's like $500 to have them tell me what's going on and what they recommend. Nothing wrong with it. She's great. But one of the things was we found out that I'm allergic to everything, apparently, like everything. Like on the food sense, I mean everything. That she said, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, every single thing, I have some rice, potatoes, I have certain degrees of different allergies. Across the board, I'm allergic to everything. So inflammation's a big problem. She didn't know what to prescribe to me for a diet to deal with something like that because it was such a unique thing. And beforehand though, I wanted to test Notebook LM, and I inputted that information. And I said, based on this, what should I be eating and what are things that I could do based on this and all my other medical history that I've inserted here? Would you recommend to create something tailored for me to allow me to get better in certain areas and avoid things that cause extra inflammation. It created something. It was exactly what the doctor for $500 to $600 wound up telling me. And there was a few things she didn't tell me. Not that she didn't share because she didn't know, but I was like, well, what do you think about this? And she was like, yeah, like I think she's human. Notebook LM is not. And then I told her, I was like, look, obviously I don't have a confidence level yet in AI to just let it start diagnosing all my medical stuff. But I ran it through there before talking to you to see what I can learn. And she said, man, I think that's gonna be the end of my career with the way AI.
I did something new. I got a hack.
Somebody throw the mic to him if you can. Yeah.
It's right. So I saw this hack and it worked. It said go to Perplexity, ask the question, and then grab the 15 sources it gives you, put it on Notebook, and just click enter. And allows you to create a video. Because Notebooks allows you to create a video. I took that video and I put it on YouTube. I cut out the part that says Notebook. And the ask button came out because I guess the video was very informative. So, and I put on the ask, where do I buy the product? And my Amazon link came out.
That's great, yeah.
Because I put information plus my catalog.
Yep.
So I said, how does my product help with this information? Most of the information I got, I try to stay away from articles. I went mostly like studies from universities. So it gets really in depth. I mean, it was like 10 sources. And then my product came out on Amazon.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't claim to know. As a matter of fact, I think I'm just a few rungs above AI illiterate. You know, I'm not an AI expert, but what I am using, I'm going all in on, and I would recommend just at the rate that everything's changing,
Gemini, yeah.
don't try to pick something, go all in and start using it. Don't jump to all these different ones every time they come out, or you're never really going to get really good at any of them. And figure out how you can get them to work for you in your life, personal or professional life. That's what I'm doing.
And it's free.
Yeah. And I'm just really all in on Gemini.
Yeah, Gemini is free. I mean, that part Notebook, it's free.
Yeah, Notebook LM is free, Gemini is free. All those Google products I'm loving. I try to stay away from VO, or is it VO2?
Oh, VO3, yeah.
VO3, just because I'm not a videographer. Like, for me, if I get into the video creation portion of AI, I might as well just also go out and buy another PlayStation and start playing Call of Duty. I'm gonna lose 4 hours every day creating Avatar 6, you know, so like, I'm scared of it. Like, just like I got rid of my PlayStations, like I don't have the discipline for that. Now what I would do is say like Madi on our team, arming Madi with, you know, VO2 or anybody that's on our team that does video, or we use Artlist.io. Artlist.io for B-roll plugs into VO3. So we can create anything we want on B-roll, anything. And for a few credits, we have unique, very specific B-roll for our products, right? Yeah.
Cesar had a comment. Yeah, can you compile YouTube videos about a topic
Yes,
and ask for a summary to get them
Yeah,
all, or a
it does
podcast
that.
about the topic
100%.
on Notebook LM?
Yep.
Look at the whole channel.
You can build a completely unique channel.
Are you able to make it accessible to the public, to where the public can access it?
Oh, I don't know.
You share it to people, but you use download them. It allows you to download the video that you created. And it allows you to, it creates a podcast.
What if
You're talking about the VO,
No,
the notebook.
Yeah, Notebook LM.
Yeah, I've only done like really personal or like things I would be kind of a little embarrassed to share in public, but I've always wanted to dive deeper on. So far, that's really what I've done with Notebook. Or, yeah, you have running a business, like we run businesses. We're always supposed to, how's your day going? Great. It's always great. Everyone, I've been around, we've got over 200,000 people in this community, and at some point I've come across in some way, shape, form, or fashion, and I've asked you how you're doing. Everyone's been doing great, right? We're the only people that have no cash flow problems, are not stressed because they got to fire somebody that's been working with them and breaking bread with them for God knows how many times. Like, we have none of these stresses. So like, we know that's BS. Like, I know that's BS. It's kind of like we just say that. I think it's harmful, but you need somewhere to be able to have a conversation and get the right answers on how to do this stuff. And if you don't trust or feel comfortable with the people around you, that's the kind of stuff that I put in
good because it allows you to change languages.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
That's
it's,
the thing. So you put English.
it's unreal.
Spanish-speaking class, it'll create in Spanish.
Yeah, it's unreal. I'm at the point now, and I'll back off this so it doesn't turn into just a totally AI group, but I'm at the point now where unless the person that's coming on my team needs to speak to somebody like on the phone or sales, verbally or in person, I'm not too concerned about your, like if our communication can be via Slack, message, WhatsApp or whatever, we're using some AIs now that can auto-translate. So like, I'd rather people communicate in their native dialect, just because we're going to get better conversations going. What is the thing on Star Trek? They used to just put something on and they could go to any planet and you understood what. Yeah, like that's where we're at.
Universal translator?
Yeah, like a universal translator. So,
Star Wars, though?
oh, I'm very team Star Wars, but they didn't have that feature in Star Wars.
Yeah, Ramon is Star Trek.
Ramon. Well, if he doesn't come today, we have to start saying who's Ramon, because he's missed a few sessions, right? Yeah.
Carlos, just to pivot back to Amazon, I haven't sent in a shipment to FBA in a while.
Yep.
Life gets in the way. But is the requirement still 5 boxes minimum to use FBA at its full potential?
That's a new criteria. I haven't heard that minimum of 5 boxes. I don't know what that.
Well, that's for the, yeah.
FBA.
Yeah, that's not to pay the placement fee.
For the get around the placement fees, yes. Yeah.
And when you ship the 5 boxes, it's 5 separate
Shipments.
shipping labels you pay for? It's one payment, but
Different shipping labels.
different shipping labels?
Yeah.
But 5 minimum,
Yep.
the golden rule. Thank you.
Yep. Absolutely.
5 boxes, no labor fees.
But you still pay shipping for 5 different locations.
Fees, though, they're getting hot, they're ridiculous.
Peach is a Star Wars fan.
Star Wars fans will inherit the earth. What, you were there when we did the Star Wars marathon at the other location? Did you do that?
I popped in.
You popped in. Yeah, I want to do it again. I don't know anybody else feels like doing that, but it's over 24 hours. The Star Wars marathon at this point.
Caesar says there's no nominal number of boxes you will need to pay for the placement.
Yeah, yeah, there's no nominal number of boxes for the placement fee. I will say, and I don't think this is debatable anymore, you don't want to have long-term storage fees and get clobbered with that, but you do want to be spread out as much as possible throughout all the FBA centers as possible. So I call it like Geo Buy Box or Geo FBA. Your page position in search results is going to be affected depending on how much spread you have through the FBA network. And it makes sense. If your products are only in an Amazon FBA center on the East Coast, just as an example, and you're getting a lot of queries on the West Coast, and the query is something just like garlic press, they don't need to show yours first. They're going to show the ones that are closest in proximity, where they're going to make more money or not lose as much money to where the people are searching. And the more spread you have, then its highest quality product wins. So that's how I look at it. Just try to get as much spread as possible with your products as soon as possible.
So you don't rely on their, like, what they suggest you when you're.
Do I rely? I rely on what they suggest.
Oh, you rely.
Well, they have more knowledge than anyone on earth
Yeah.
as far as buyer habits and who's buying what. So, I go with their suggestion. The only main suggestion I do not listen to Amazon on, and you just be criminally reckless to do, is their advertising recommendations. It's wildly bad. Wildly bad. Okay.
Oh, so you,
Yes.
by the way, good to see you.
Good to see you again, bro.
And I'm just wondering, I just recently sent something to Canada, and I had to send it back because I didn't have the paperwork or something. I mean, this is, I don't know if you've talked about it, but it's not, what's happening? I mean, with the Canadian government now, I think it's because of the tariffs and all that, we have to they're reciprocating and you have to. I used to just send stuff UPS and used to get there to where.
What happened?
Yeah, I guess what happened, how do you get around, how can we not get around it, but do you really have to, is it a lot of, I haven't even tried to, I didn't send it, I just sent it back to my warehouse. and
Yeah,
just-
well, what happened depends on where you watch your news. Because there's a different take on what happened across the board. But pretty much everything in the world right now, when it comes to shipping and tariffs and all that stuff, is it's wilder than it's ever been since I've been selling. Canada is one of the easiest ones to deal with. I reached a point with all the other countries that running the numbers, it no longer makes sense for me to attempt to set up shop in all these other countries. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't be selling in those other countries. And by that I mean, there is more than ever, it's easier than ever to find sellers, resellers, in all these other countries who would love nothing more than to receive your products, and they're set up perfectly in that country to receive them, and sort of act as the representative of the seller of your brand in that respective country. So you deal with none of the headaches and all of the upside. So I recommend that.
How do you find it?
And Facebook, Wizards of Ecom, just, as a matter of fact, if you have a product and you want to resell it and it makes sense, I'd highly recommend, and you're talking about Canada, I'd recommend, I believe he still has a lot of inroads in Canada, Steve. And Steve might be on the stream. I don't know if Steve's on the stream.
Steve Fillen?
Yeah, if he's on the stream. Steve's in Chicago, but I believe Steve has a lot of connections there. He's a strong reseller. I could totally vouch for him personally. But yeah,
That's a
you
good idea, yeah.
yeah, just now, if you're setting all this up and the person's got like 50 cents per unit that they're going to make, it needs to make sense for the business person to do it. And if it doesn't, then it's kind of like, why are you expanding to another country?
So isn't the same for drop shipping to another country?
Drop shipping. Ooh, that's a dirty word. No.
Because that's one thing that China was saying, like, you could, I mean, Walmart, they're all set up where you could just send it to the other countries. Is that,
What do you mean? Talking about NARF?
like, say, let's say I just send whatever my manufacturer makes in China straight to Germany.
Yeah, you can send it straight there.
But if that's easier, I know you were saying like we don't recommend selling in other countries, we prefer resellers, but.
Well, the thing is, if your product's in China and you're getting orders from around the world and you're just shipping straight from China there, I'd be curious what product that is, just around the world, especially in the US. They want it in a day or two. I'm getting so spoiled with my Amazon shopping that almost everything that I order has an option to receive it the next morning between like 6 and 9 a.m. And for $1 more between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. So like when I see something and it's a full 2 days, I'm beginning to get like, oh God. So like,
Prime account, right?
huh?
What's happening with your Prime account? Because now you notice since they dropped UPS or UPS dropped them, there are more things that are taking 2 days than it can overnight.
Yeah.
Because of the cost of, yeah.
Well, almost everything getting delivered, because I see it in my Ring doorbell, it's somebody in plain clothes in a regular car, but wearing an Amazon shirt. So it seems like their version of like Uber, and they're doing, and they're delivering it. So I'm thinking if someone is willing to order a product and wait until it comes from China, then maybe you found a little niche there that you can, like.
They have like their own FBA in like
Who?
Germany and Amazon. Like they have their own warehouse.
Yeah, but you're saying shipping from China.
Yeah, like drop, like ask your manufacturer in China, create 500 and send it to Germany's warehouse.
Oh,
Or
just-
Amazon. Like that's
Yeah,
what
you could do that.
Yeah, you could totally do that.
Right, but you were saying you stay out of country, so that's why I was asking.
Yeah.
Let's say,
Well, his doesn't make sense, but yours.
If yours makes sense, now for me getting, like I don't even, so if I'm bringing something over from China directly into Amazon, First of all, my anxiety is through the roof because like there is zero room for error in that. But you're talking about bringing it over via AGL, Amazon Global Logistics, and then straight into AWD, and then dripping it into Amazon FBA. That's what we're talking about. I don't believe AGL goes to Germany. Can somebody check that?
I was just using a country.
Yeah, so like, so the method you would use to get stuff there, I don't believe it, I mean, somebody on the stream, if they want, call me out on this, but I don't believe it yet goes to other countries. I believe it's just China to the US right now. If it did go to other countries, I guess I'd explore it a little more, but the problem isn't the shipping and getting it to the country. That's very straightforward. It's the problem with, there is a lot of paperwork and a lot of red tape that has to go on. Canada's the easiest. To get to Europe, that's a nightmare. Yeah, if you wanted to really understand Europe, I'd recommend a company named Avask. They're also a sponsor. I'd say they're the best at it. But now there's social certificates or something. There's like, it's out of control. The amount of certificates that you need to have to be able to do it because you're not in the country. Ramon, I won't share too many of the specifics because I don't know if he's okay with me sharing this, but just 50,000 feet, he bought a company in Europe, in the UK. He bought it outright, everything's clear. Company had been selling for a couple years. They're based in the UK. He bought it. From the moment he bought it, moving forward, he paid his taxes, how it was supposed to be done. Amazon said, we only see 1 year of you filing taxes. He's like, yeah, well, this is my first year owning the company. They said, well, we don't see your other 3 years of filing taxes. He goes, yeah, because those were filed by that company. They held his money. I think it went on for like a year. Like it was a devastating blow. He may still be involved in it in some part. You might want to ask him when you see him again. But it is complicated. Like, and to do it, he basically needed the equivalent of our IRS to get in contact with Amazon. I can barely get a hold of the IRS. Like, I'm not going to get Amazon. Can you imagine if you finally convinced someone from the IRS to get a hold of an Amazon rep? How bad that conversation would go? Yeah, it was bad. Any other question before we get into the 10 tools or today's topic? No?
Say hi to Adriel from Michigan.
Adriel? Adriel from Michigan. What's up?
Oh, but Carlos,
What's up?
Carlos, but recently, like in the last 6 months or the last 12 months, since January 1st, I think Canada has these new rules.
Yeah, everyone does.
Huh?
Everyone does.
Okay. So everything is, I just,
Yeah.
boy, I tell you.
Yeah.
But I hear you.
But
Resell it.
yeah, get somebody to resell it who lives in that country.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
All right, I put this list together. If you've heard me deliver this presentation before, the tools are slightly different. Some of them obviously stayed. And it's my 10 favorite tools as an Amazon seller. Now, there's tools that I use that I didn't add here. I tried to keep them as directly specific. Like, for example, I attribute some of the success I read to some of the books I read. And I'm able to cover more books and learn certain things because of Audible. I didn't include Audible as a tool on this list. Our team stays in contact using Slack as an internal communication tool. That has a lot to do with how we succeed as a business. I didn't include Slack. So there's so many other tools that when I built this out, I mean, I could have hit 30 something tools. I also I guess I'll mention 2 that didn't make the cut here, or a family of tools, if you will, that didn't make the cut. I didn't add any Photoshops or Adobe Illustrator stuff on here that we obviously need to use anytime packaging's involved, or we need to edit a quick photo or do A+ content, Glorify, which is something we still use a great deal that I got a lifetime deal on a long time ago, which is like a Canva on steroids pretty much. I didn't put Canva on here, so a lot of other tools. So if you notice me missing one, it's just that it didn't make my top 10. It's not that these are all that I use. So I tried to organize these in order of impact as well. The number one on my list, meaning most impactful on a day-to-day, is Sellerize. Owner's local, his name's Dima. You need a dashboard. That's what it comes down to. You need a dashboard in your Amazon business to see what's going on. Sellerize's dashboard's the best one out there. An extremely close second with another friend of mine named Vladi, who's got Sellerboard. But when I looked internally, I mean, if you're using Sellerboard, you're in fantastic shape. The reason why we're heavier on Sellerize than Sellerboard only comes down to a lot of the other features that Sellerize has, like Review Puncher. They have a free clawback tool for money that's owed to you by Amazon that don't exist or are not as robust in Sellerboard. If I only talked about how slick the dashboard looks, just the dashboard, I would have picked Sellerboard. But Sellerize is the one I got to give the win to.
Sellerize.
Yeah, Sellerise, Sellerize. A lot of these too, I have links that I can share with you that will give you some type of discount. They are affiliate links, and I felt like it would be really cheesy for me to flood you guys with 10 affiliate links right now. If you don't have to use them, it's not why I'm recommending it, but if you did want a bit of a discount, and that also kicked out some stuff for more coffee and pastelitos and stuff, then let me know any of these and I can send you a link. Just message me on WhatsApp or something and I'll send it to you, no problem. And I appreciate it. The second one, this is a relatively new one over the last 2 years, is on-site support. So there is nothing else out there that is gonna be able to cut back on 40%, roughly 40% of your returns, as well as short-stop negative reviews. So there's a lot of stuff out there to get positive reviews. This puts a very real mechanism in place to short-stop negative reviews. And how it looks is, if you've ever done a return, which according to Amazon is at least half of this room, right? If you've ever done a return on Amazon, actually no, that's the whole room. And that, can anyone take a guess, by the way, it's totally offbeat. Does anyone, I'm working with some apparel brands, and they wanted to know if I could lower their return rate. And if I could lower their return rate below X, they would never leave us. What do you think their percentage return rate is?
What kind of apparel?
We'll call them tops or like blouses, if that's
40%, 35,
30, 65, yeah, ladies. Well, it's 2025, anyone can wear a blouse, I guess.
Between 30 and 40.
Wow, it's a fitting 30%. 1%, yeah.
Said, if you can get it below 50%, we'll be with you forever.
Oh my God, why would they, I don't want to say why would they, to stay in business?
Well, there's massive margins on that, but why are the margins that big? Probably because,
Business crap.
no, okay, but let's look at this. I think my wife is responsible for half of it, right? But let me just be fair. No one can see you, by the way, on the camera, so even if there's someone from Amazon watching, like nobody, ask yourself if you're on the stream or any of you guys here where I could see you, who here returns stuff frequently on Amazon?
My wife.
Yeah. My wife. You said my wife. Yes, you do. Do you ever intentionally go in and buy a few sizes? Yes. And if you have kids, you do it too. Now, what we don't do, and thank God my wife doesn't do it either, it'd be divorce worthy, is we don't do some of this other stuff, which is like we wear the shoes until they're wore out and we buy a new pair and we just send the old ones in like these don't fit. Like that doesn't happen. That's called theft. But under 50%.
You know something, Carlos? I stopped using advertising on Amazon and the returns have gone down. I just use organic marketing, and, you know, people are just searching for my product, and that's, and the returns, no, you know, no more problem.
Okay, so my
Or at
say,
least a slight bit.
my cool saying I like to say, you, in good times, you should run ads. Go ahead.
Oh, I have thousands of reviews. I mean, I've been doing it for 20 years, but, I mean, yeah, so, I mean, for some, yeah.
In good times, you should run ads. In bad times, you must run ads. That's an adage that's never failed. But,
Really?
but
Okay.
yeah, but no, but your point is a really good one, and this exists across everything. The percentage of people that return something off of an ad is massively higher than organic. Yes.
Yeah.
Because they're not, because they got like sold and they're not searching for it on their own.
Exactly, yeah, that's all.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll tell you what though, if you've run Google Ads, you'll notice that the type of person that you speak to and the way they speak to you on a phone call that comes in, like say a lead for your lawn care service or whatever, that comes in from a Google ad versus an organic placement is a totally different person. The likelihood of being stood up goes up dramatically when it's a paid ad. So that's true. It also means though that you're losing out on a lot of sales. So that's also true. Okay, so dashboard, Sellerize. Second one's on-site support. Okay, how it works. So when you go to leave a return, you know those yellow or Amazon orange buttons that you can choose, and it's like return, review, orders. There's like a series of orange buttons that you can go onto to start that process, the return process for a past order. Another button is added at the top, and it's chat with us. So it can open up a live chat between you and that person at a time when they're either leaving a review or initiating a return. On-site support.
So isn't it like separate application or it's part of one?
No, well, there's a feature you can get. Everyone can get access to this feature for free. You just need to be a 9-figure seller. That's it. So, so don't worry. Don't worry. For those of you that are not right there about to get 9 figures, you can get to on-site support. And the infrastructure for it's an Amazon thing. The ability to get the button through a paid monthly subscription is an on-site support thing. That's why it's called on-site support. If you're familiar with the Shopify space, there's a software called Gorgias, Gorgias. And what it is it grabs all of your different e-commerce platforms and pulls all the customer services and messages into one dashboard. That is another feature that on-site support has. So there is no other tool that does that with Amazon. Right? So what will normally happen is you'd have a software that pulls in from like 3 other ones, and you have a different one that's for Amazon. So it does. 2 other pretty cool features for on-site support. You're able to create a resource page with videos and all the stuff you wish you can put on your listing. You're able to create that on your website, and the people that go through on-site support can go to your website from Amazon to look at those resources. Nowhere else are you going to hear that happening on Amazon. And then finally, well, this was a good one and I'm missing it, I'm blanking. Oh wow, this is another good one. Oh, you can actually have live chats with the person while they're plugged in, which is really good. The only downside I see here is if you leave live chat on when you're not on, imagine how furious the customer is going to be. Well, I tried to resolve. I mean, this is definitely a negative review. You get to short stop returns. There's a lot of cases where if the return's going to happen, you'd rather them just keep it to not have to deal with the costs, and it's going to be even more expensive for you if they go through a return. So really great tool. It's one of these workhorses that's going to be on the back end of your business. Highly recommend it. I believe it's $199 a month. Right. If you have very low volume and very low returns, maybe not. But I put the cost of a negative review to be $2,500.
Really?
Yeah, I've equated the cost of a negative review, and That's everything being equal. So if you have 5,000 5-star reviews and you're sitting at 5 stars, that one negative review is not a $2,500 impact. Also, if you're just starting and your first review is negative, it's probably like a $10,000 impact. But for the most part, in the middle, a negative review costs you $2,500.
I think what's important for that is that you just said, oh, if you have all these 5 stars and you have 1, it's kind of like a Zillow ratio. Like, okay, for every 500, for every 300 reviews, and what's considered negative, because I have like 2 3-star reviews, and like 1 4 and the rest are 5, but those 2 is and even though they don't really like say anything that negative, are 3 stars technically negative?
I'm gonna say 3 stars are not positive.
No, they're not.
Right.
No, they're not, but it's.
4 and 5s are positive, and 4s is like, come on, bro.
Right, but I'm saying 3, and I could be 100% wrong, I'm asking you. 3 is certainly not 1 or 2,
3's not a 1 or a 2,
but it's not a 4 or a 5.
but would you, if you were gonna go buy a product and you were looking for a face cream and it had 1 3-star review, would you buy it?
Well, it depends what they said. If
You would go look, or you just see this thing sitting at 50% stars.
Oh, no, I'm talking, you're saying the average stars of a product. I'm like, oh, if I saw 1 3 and someone just said, oh, I don't love the vanilla smell.
Well, the average star rating is what kicks things off. That's why I'm saying, like, if you're sitting at 5 stars,
Right.
and you have 5,000 5-star reviews, getting 1 negative, it doesn't do anything.
That's right, okay.
And you're good. But if more than likely that's not how it works. You're getting some pluses, some minuses. You're getting 5-star reviews, 4-star reviews, 3-star reviews, and your overall star rating is ticking down. Say you're sitting at 4. I'll take the difference in sales between 4.5 stars and 4 stars is huge.
Yes, I can see that.
Huge.
But that's what I'm asking you, like, what would you consider, like, when you, like, more like a ratio or a number, it's, I guess it's.
Like, what's an acceptable amount of negative reviews per 100? Is that what you mean? None.
I wouldn't say the word acceptable, it's not acceptable, but I'm
No.
saying like what, yeah.
I don't know how to answer that in the form of a ratio. I could say what we do now is we don't talk about reviews once we get where we want to get,
Right.
except if we get a negative review. And then it's all hands on deck. We get 10 positives to drown that out. That's it.
Right.
Outside of that, I don't want to have meetings about what black hat strategy we could do to try to lure in some more 5-star reviews. We've got bigger things to do. Yeah. Yeah. We get a negative, let's drown it out.
Right.
If you really want to see somebody go nuts about a review, this guy gets a Google review. You want some leverage on Andres.
A Google on self-esteem?
Or any of his business. Yeah, if he gets a Google review that's less than 5 stars on Google or anywhere, Yelp him, I don't care, but like the leverage, you'd own him. You would own him. He would dance at your wedding, your next wedding. He would bring in like 9 Hora Loca companies for you, like just to, it's true. That shit keeps you up at night. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Number 3. I'm putting what I use. It's Perpetua. Ads are massive in a space. If you have your own, that's good. We have reached a spot when it comes to advertising on Amazon that you shouldn't be doing manually. I feel safe saying that. There was a period of time where we were using a software, but it was, we also have an agency, and that's why. But if I was a seller and I only had one brand and a few SKUs, I'd do this. No, that we've passed that. There's too many changes. There's too many people with their version of some AI advertising thing out there making changes in real time. It's almost as if you're a reseller and you don't have an auto repricer. So if you're running ads, you need an advertising tool. For us, that's Perpetua.
P-E-R-P-E-T-U-A.
Yep.
Say it again.
Perpetua. And I can get you a heavy discount on that one too if you decide to go that route. But Perpetua, amazing. In addition to well, let me say this. There's a lot of tools out there now in the ad space. I want to put out there and say there's one. Okay, I won't say the name. You're going to be able to get there. So they're the most popular tool in the Amazon space. You draw your blank. They came out with an ad tool that sounds like Atomic, and that's the only one that I would say is like the worst tool to use in the space, hands down. Like that's just bad. But all the other tools out there, they're really pushing this AI thing. Like everyone is. Like this automation, this AI stuff. None of them, not even Perpetua, is doing that at an effective level. What you do want though, is you do want something that is able to have some rule-based stuff for your ads. And that is, you might have thousands of keywords that could net you sales, but 600 of them, it's only like one sale a week. And the amount of resources it would take from you to track that down and make all your adjustments, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. So being able to set a rule up to have it kind of follow and bid adjust and all that for you without a human actually having to deal with it, important. But you still need to know how to structure those. Any tool out there that says they're an AI, Amazon PPC thing, and that's how they do it, you should just run from them, possibly report them, because it's just so wildly wrong. Yeah.
But even using this automation PPC tool, like Perpetua, right? You still need like, if
You need humans that know
so
ads.
If you're a professional, you can do it by yourself, but you still need someone like agency or someone to like.
You need
configure
someone
it.
in-house that really knows ads,
Keywords, Yeah.
or you need to hire someone, or you decide you're gonna be that person, but somebody, depending on you need at least one person, full-time on your ads. Yeah, full-time meaning full 40 hours a week and Perpetua. Yeah. Other good things about Perpetua is when you have it, one of the big areas within advertising on Amazon or anything, just increase sales and organic page position on Amazon, is when they come out with something new. If you're one of the first ones to use it, you're in really good shape. On the advertising side, what happens is all these advertising tools, they know about it, but they're not able to connect and bring it into their tool. Perpetua is one of 3 that are brought in the beta stage before it's released to anyone. So when this thing is out, you're whitelisted if you work with them, and you're whitelisted and you're able to use those features out the gate. You also, we run ads on Instacart, Newegg, Walmart, Target, Kroger's, all this stuff, and we can all run through one ad dashboard, which is on Perpetua. So highly recommend it.
Carlos, the Perpetua is about $700 a month. I think everybody would love your affiliate link.
Yeah, you get just reach out to me, and I can give it to you. I can even make email introductions if you want. And the 700 is like, $700. Well, how much would you pay yourself full time to do your ads? And if you're only doing it 1 hour a day, how much are you losing per day by not doing it? So it's good. The only thing you have to look at is, and it shouldn't matter if you're using the tool right, but there's going to be a percentage of additional ad spend moving forward. So that 700 is 700 plus, and then it depends on the percentage that you're in, based on if you spend. But basically, if you spend an extra $1,000, it's $50 per thousand. You'd have to pay that. You'd have to pay more than $50 if you had a team member that needed to pull that data from anywhere. Number 4.
That's what helps you with Kroger and all these other stores too?
It helps you be able to, getting into Kroger's or being able to do getting into Target, that's very difficult. But once you're in, it's even more difficult to be able to run ads on those platforms. It's not like if you're on Amazon, there's an a la carte process to just run ads. That's very, very difficult, and they reserve it for only their best. Instacart is almost impossible, but we're able to run ads on Instacart just because of Perpetua, right? All right, number 4, this tool has been my favorite tool since I began, and it's still there. I like it better than the Jungle Scout version and the Helium 10 version and all these other versions, and that's Keepa. Keepa is the most powerful tool in the Amazon space, period. Keepa. Keepa. They still have access to data that no other software is able to pull from. Just because of how long they've been around, it is the most accurate. when you want to look at a listing and see what's been going on this listing across several years, what's been the exchange of sellers, has Amazon ever been on the box, and anything else you can possibly imagine, Keepa's where you go. They are horrible at advertising their services. Keepa. Keepa. And it's just basically for you to make informed buying decisions. But if you're running ads, or you want to know, like, I'd like to get connected with Vendor Central, what's the likelihood of that happening on this category? How would my BSR be affected at a specific time of the year in this category? All that stuff you can get from Keepa. And a lot more, by the way. Like, Keepa does some powerful things. One of the reasons that motivated us to go to Discord is that there's some really cool bots that we attempted to create on the Telegram side for Keepa, to where you'd be able to go in there and automatically use it without it costing you anything. It'll just be like a WOE thing, and some of the sponsors would be offsetting the cost. You'd be able to open this bot up in a private chat. Like, a lot of cool bots we'll be able to create in Discord. But Keepa, highly recommend it. Like, you want to have it. All right, number 5 for me, I'm going to put 5 and 6 together, but number 5 is Data Dive, and number 6 is Jungle Scout. The reason I'm putting these together, I'm not a huge fan of the Jungle Scout and Helium 10s, and I know that's like blasphemy in the Amazon space, but there's a place for them for tracking later on, but they position themselves as use us to discover new products to sell, and their formulas that you should plug in to discover things is really bad. I think in any other industry, if you were tracking the success record that people have by using X tool, they would have been shut down. It's just such a small percentage of people that have actually used these tools to discover them are actually, still standing, 5 years later running a successful business. And if you want to see it, just go into some of the larger Facebook groups, look at the activity there and see, is it full of people showing nothing but wins? Or is it full of people showing nothing but like, woe is me, oh my God, this thing said that this was an opportunity, I got it, and now the Chinese or 6 other people or whatever came in and tanked the price. And it's the latter. The only people that are showing the wins, if you click on their profile, they also have a service. So they want you to see their screenshot of sales, so you might want to work with them. I think Smart Scout is great as a reseller tool for wholesalers. I find you can adapt Smart Scout to be helpful as a private label seller. I love the team at Smart Scout. They're great people. I like the spy tools that they have, which if you ever wanted to know who are the Amazon sellers, all the Amazon sellers in Miami, you can get a list. It has a lot of cool features. It has a lot of cool ways to find who are the top sellers from specific storefronts. But I see it more as a reseller tool.
What's the name of it?
Smart Scout.
And Keepa has that too. You can find out like who's store products.
Keepa's got everything. Yeah, Keepa's freaking amazing. Okay, so the reason I have Jungle Scout on here is because of Data Dive. And Data Dive is a powerhouse. The way we went about listing creation used to take us, I'd say about 23 combined hours to do. Unfortunately, no, you can't just go into ChatGPT and give it a bunch of things and have ChatGPT put out your Amazon listings yet. That's just not, there's way too many factors in place. Now, if you have a horrible listing, like say quality score 1, you could use ChatGPT and AI to get it to a 5 or a 6, which is massively better than a 1. But if you're going to be spending ads, it needs to be a 10. There's no wiggle room there. To do this, we need to do keyword research, competitor research, category research, product research, and we need to do things. I'll just say one of the things that Data Dive does. And by the way, they also claim to be the best tool to use to discover new products. I love Brandon, love Data Dive, but I don't agree with that statement. Let's say you find a product and you're like, this product is awesome. There's only 10 other sellers competing on it. That seems like a win. Like, even when we're ripping listings and you see 10, you're like, oh, there's only 10 people competing. I got this. But then what Data Dive is going to allow you to do, and this is something we used to have to do the research on, independently with no tool, is say, okay, those are the 10 players for this product. What are the keywords that are searched for that actually result in sales? Because if somebody goes to Amazon and searches shoes, we know they're not really going to buy something. They're window shopping, right? So that has a high search intent. You're going to see a high search volume on that keyword. But if somebody's looking for, cycling shoes that glow in the dark for triathletes in the desert, you know what I mean? Like, this is a really high buyer intent, but a very low search volume. Which one do you want? You want the high search volume. You want the high buyer intent. So,
Like your cat shampoo story.
yes. So he says both. On the face of it, yes, but you pay for that other spot for the high search volume. It means every time somebody's coming, you're paying for an ad on that spot, and they're clicking and they're window shopping at your cost per click.
No, I mean, you can have it in your listing, but not necessarily you will advertise on this keyword.
Right, you don't want to advertise.
So,
So,
as you said, you can.
no, you definitely still want to have it in your title.
Canonical URL.
Right, but you look at this and you dive a little deeper and you realize, oh, the 10 people who are dominating here, 95% of the sales are coming up for these 3 keywords. So the likelihood of you cutting in on those top players for only 3 keywords, now this is really hard. There's only 3 opportunities for you to score here. And if you don't get those, you're done. There's not 1,000 opportunities. So it's gonna allow you to expose that with some charts. I wish you would change the reds to greens and the greens to reds. If you've seen it, you know what I mean. But this is gonna allow you to do that, and we can do it now in under 3 hours. And we can get what we want. So from a labor saving standpoint, even if you don't have, virtual assistants or team members or whatever, it's still your labor that you gotta do. So highly recommend it. I think it's very affordable, but it needs to connect with something, and it connects with Jungle Scout. I believe it could still connect with Helium 10, but I'd avoid that. Jungle Scout's the better connection. So Data Dive has to be in the top 5 for me. It's one of my, I would hate to do things without Data Dive at this point. Like, it's amazing. Removes a lot of guesswork that you couldn't remove before. I told you, so 5 and 6 is there. Data Dive and then Jungle Scout, number 6. Number 7 is Process.st. I call it Process Street. You might be using ClickUp. It's very possible that you could be using ClickUp. If you are, that's great. I'm only saying Process Street because ClickUp has one major limitation. And since I do things that are beyond just selling on Amazon, like there's some content flows, we do some podcasting, do some YouTube stuff that you might not do. When you have a multi-step task that's identical every single time with the exception of like one variable and has different dependents, meaning so-and-so kicks off the process and says, create FBA shipment. Once that's done, somebody else is notified because they need to do X, so they're dependent. So when that happens, ClickUp fails, and they'll tell you. So because of that, we just decided I don't want to have ClickUp and Process Street. I'm just getting Process Street.
It's called Process Street.
Process.st. And what happens here is when you have a process that you do, you're going to build it in Process Street. And then let's say, I'm not saying you need to do one for this, but let's say it's called inbound FBA shipment. And you're in the line, and currently you need to sit there and open your computer and do a whole bunch of things to make this happen. But instead you're in the line in Starbucks, you open your phone, you go into Process Street, and you put trigger. And the process you're triggering is send in FBA shipment. Every step that needs to be happened now pulls out. Every single person that needs to be involved in the process, they're queued up. And then you put in there, maybe you want to put 400 units. That's all you put, 400, next. As soon as you do that, your team member who handles your FBA shipment or your prep center or whatever, they receive a pre-prepared email that pulls in the 400 and the products that you want to ship. Automatically, they receive it. They know when they get it, what they're supposed to do is maybe you like to say, I want you to go into this software and I want you to check, is it cheaper for me to do small parcel or is it cheaper for me to do pallet? Based on that, they choose which one and all the steps come into play, with it finally ending with a bunch of digital confetti saying that the shipment is done, tracking numbers are there, and you're to receive a notification tomorrow by end of day if the shipment hasn't moved. This is an important one, because maybe it's just sitting there and it never got picked up. So this is a way for you to be able to stay on track of all the different things that are happening in your business that you're requiring other people to do without having to check on them and say, hey, did you do this? You can see what stage everything is in. I hope that made some sense. What I would warn you on is a lot of this, and this is called just creating a process or an SOP. What I'd warn you on is a lot of people will create a process or an SOP. Kudos for doing that. And then they hand it to a new person that starts working with them. A process or an SOP is not a training, right? Even though you have put the steps here and you feel like you've dummy-proofed it, all you need to do is follow the steps. No, that's a robot. You need to train the person as to why these steps are happening, so when something breaks, they know what to do. So it's not a training, it's just a process that someone can follow. You get the difference? That's just a trap I see a lot of people fall into, so I want to share that. All right, that was number 7. Number 8, my favorite tool. And it's not so obvious. These next few, I mean, we got 8, 9, and 10. These are new ones, but they're just so involved in my Amazon business and every other business I have that I'd be remiss not to say them. Like, they're very, very involved. One of them is Loom. L-O-O-M, Loom. And all Loom is the absolute best screen recording software on earth, in my opinion. You can edit things, you can blur things out with no editing experience. If you have the AI version, which is a couple bucks more, it instantly transcribes everything that's there. And you're gonna need to do back and forths with your suppliers, your factories, your team members, all this different stuff. One thing is sending a message that you think is clear, and the other one is, and you can do it on your phone too. You can do it from the phone or laptop. The other thing is just hitting record, going through it and talking through the process as you're going through it and where your concerns are and what you're trying to communicate, and you send it, completely different outcome. So you're gonna do a lot of that in the Amazon space. When you're communicating with support, you wanna be able to show them what you're seeing instead of saying red error button in top, you know? That doesn't help. So Loom, absolutely fantastic. Number 9, man, I'm going through these pretty fast. No questions, by the way, on any of these? Do you use a different tool, by the way, on anything that I've...
For Process Street, did you try Jira?
Jetta?
Jira.
No.
J-I-R-A.
Oh, well, the only time I've messed with that is when we were trying to build some software.
Yes.
Yeah, and we're trying to build software. Every time I've messed with someone who builds software, they use it. I didn't know if it was software specific. I was using Trello around that time, and then I started messing with Jira, and I'm not sure why. I think I thought it was software specific. And then we went to Basecamp, and then it wasn't good at all. And then we went to Process Street, and Process Street's been nice. You like Jira?
Actually, we, like, on all projects that I work for, like I'm doing software development.
Oh, so you just, yeah.
We're always using Jira.
Yeah, everyone I know in software development swears by it.
It's very, like, you can customize it as you want. The workflows, the task, everything.
I find it to be more of a corporate tool.
Okay.
Everybody can chime in, but it does get complicated. Like, it's not.
Actually, cloud version, you can like limit like functionality features. But it's, yeah, you need like admin who will like take care of everything.
Gifts.
It can be complicated.
Peaches, thanks for the gifts. People are gifting me stuff on here? Peaches, you're the best. I love gifts. Okay. All right, so that's good. Check out Jira, Process Street, and I think most of you are gonna really love Klaviyo. I mean, I'm sorry, ClickUp, because ClickUp.
Is that number 9?
Loom is number 8. No, I'm just saying 7 was Process Street, and he was recommending there's another one called Jira, and I was saying ClickUp also falls in that family, but it also has an internal messaging tool with it that I don't think is great, but is good enough because you might not be using one. And for most e-commerce things, ClickUp should do it. But any of them that you think, Loom is the screen recording one that I recommend. There's a, what will be the next one after Loom? Well, the Loom competitor might even be QuickTime Player that's just like on the Mac. But anyhow, number 9, you guys would kill me if I'd be lying if I don't have AI involved on this list. For me, that's Gemini.
That's Google, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And now, let me tell you a feature that is flipping amazing. So I use a Chrome extension. I don't remember the name, but what it does is I call it Mad Scientist, and I have all my labs. So when I know that I'm getting into content creation mode, I have a different series of tabs that I open on my computer. When I'm not in content creation mode and I'm in product research mode, I have completely different tabs that I'd like open on my computer. So I can save those labs, is what I call them, and pop them open as needed and swap them out. If you're doing it in Google Chrome, Chrome now has Gemini built right into the browser, like right into the search bar. So I can communicate across my tabs. So things that I have open in different, like you open one and based on what you got here, you jumped over to this one, but you can't interact with this other one anymore unless you bounce back and open it again. Not anymore. So you have a bunch of tabs. There's almost a benefit to having a bunch of tabs open now if you're using Gemini.
So you don't, that's stupid, but you don't use the free version, you use the paid version? Is there a paid version? I mean.
Yeah, there is. There is.
But you use the free version?
No, we use their completely fully loaded one just only because we're on their fully loaded plans.
How much is a fully loaded? What is that?
Well, I don't know if they sell it just Gemini at a fully loaded. I imagine they do, but we were already like Google Workspace Pro or something, but now we had to bump it up a few. So I don't remember the exact one we're on, but based on the level, you also get additional functionality with a lot.
Terabytes of
Right.
Google Drive memory and so on and so on. Yeah.
Right.
So,
But we
You
can.
have a lot of like.
oh, okay, so it just goes.
Yeah, but think about it, like, if you have a Dropbox, and you have your files stored here and this stored over there, it's very difficult to make it all play nice together. But now, since everything of ours is in Google, our Google Drive, we use Google Teamspace, we use all this stuff here, we just, seamless communication, anything we want. We can use it as almost a brain based on everything you know about me. You say that to AI, but you'd have to build a master prompt. Now, it's got all your stuff. It's got all your podcasts. It's got everything you've ever done.
Yeah, I found out about your meeting on Gemini.
Yeah? Yeah?
What are they talking about today?
We've been getting a lot of hits from AI. Yeah. Yeah, people searching ChatGPT and stuff like that, asking about learn to sell on Amazon. We're apparently like one of the things that gets served up first. Okay.
A lot of people will ask, well, why do I pay versus the free version? And I'll always recommend the paid, just so if you don't know. At least with the paid one, it keeps a history of everything that you search for. So for example, if you've done like a keyword search or something with regards to a product, in the free version, it will delete it after a few hours. Where, like a ChatGPT. But if you pay for the ChatGPT,
Thank you, Peaches.
it'll keep your history.
No, free version also has memory. You can just enable it in settings
But how long does it keep it for?
forever.
So I'm going to
No,
chat
since-
GPT.
Yeah, you can just enable it in settings.
No,
And-
you don't log in, you have to log in.
No, yeah, you have to log in, but you can log in with free version, and you still have memory.
Like the one where you just pull it up on your phone, I'm talking, and you can get it.
Yeah, I think
If
so.
you don't log in, I'm saying it won't keep a history.
Yeah, sure, if you're not logged in, yeah, but you can log in with free version, it will keep memory, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm not crystal clear on what the differences are. I know I was on the free ChatGPT at some point, and then it seemed clear in the very beginning, or when you go to upgrade, it tells you right then what the other things are. And at the time, that was like, well, for $20, I did it. I will tell you, talking about ChatGPT, Gemini already has this, but ChatGPT has a cool feature that I'm realizing a lot of people don't know. But there's a personal ChatGPT that you get, and you can get a paid personal one. But there's also teams. You can get you go into your ChatGPT and click on your profile, and it'll give you the option to do ChatGPT Teams. So I have a personal ChatGPT and a Teams ChatGPT, which is a paid version. And what that does is, say you have a team of people and you're building all these resources within ChatGPT that you want the whole team to be able to leverage, not just one person. So rather than everybody need all these separate accounts with different information everywhere, there's a team version that's really nice. If you're in Gemini, you get that if you're in the Google Suite. Yeah. Okay, last one, number 10, is this has always been, the name has changed, but this type of tool has always been in place for my Amazon business. I've been a content first private label seller since the beginning. and that's email. Now, over the years, I started with, embarrassed to say, MailChimp, and I did Constant Contact and Aweber, and I did all these different ones, breaking them as I went. I was in ConvertKit, and we broke it. ConvertKit rebranded to Kit, went to ActiveCampaign. ActiveCampaign was great. We started breaking that, and what I found is it's not a one-size-fits-all when it comes to email in your business, nor does it need to be. So for us, since we have so many different things going on in our business, that's HubSpot. So we use HubSpot. Now, if I was to go open up a food truck, I would not get HubSpot. HubSpot's pretty pricey, but we use HubSpot. The CRM for HubSpot is free. And if you were looking for a fantastic CRM to start with, and you just needed, CRMs were holding all your email contacts, I would recommend HubSpot still. If you decide that you're gonna bolt on other things like sales and marketing and stuff, you have to be okay with your monthly ballooning into like $400 to $600. I know that hurts you. But I'd say it's the best out there, hands down.
Here in Miami, they had a fundraiser in Wilton Manors. They were
HubSpot?
looking for investors.
HubSpot was?
I'm pretty sure it was HubSpot or HubSpot. I got.
Well, there's a lot of HubSpot's a global.
Okay. But this is just in the last last year and a half.
There's a rumor that Google might buy HubSpot, which for us would be the best thing in the world since we use both, but fingers crossed. So HubSpot's that side of it. If you have a Shopify site though, on your Shopify site, I'd recommend that you use Klaviyo. If you need something to do your abandoned carts, be able to send out some email blast about promotions that you have, there's nothing better than Klaviyo out there for that. Now, all of these claim that they can all do the same thing, but if you're not a content creator and you're just focused on making a lot of money on e-commerce, you're in really good hands with Klaviyo. Klaviyo. Klaviyo?
C-O-K.
K. They recently became a sponsor of ours, and we're working on a really robust workshop that we'll be having here, hopefully before the end of the year. I think we're aiming for like right after PLMA.
Could you spell that one more time?
Klaviyo.
And what is that again?
It's the best e-commerce email service provider out there, hands down.
Well, what's the difference between that and HubSpot?
HubSpot, HubSpot's strength comes from outside of e-commerce, like every other non-main e-commerce focused business.
Like what, if you have like a store?
If you have a store, if you offer services, if you're a dance studio, if you have a mix, if you do a lot of content and sell services or digital products, HubSpot's where you want to be. If you have a sales team, you need to be on HubSpot. Like none of these other ones are going to be able to stand up. If you don't have any of those things, you have a Shopify site with like a web developer and a catalog manager, and you need abandoned cart emails, you need to send some really nice emails out there to sell products to people who bought from you before. You have great subscriptions in place. Klaviyo is what you do. But again, if you have Klaviyo and you're creating content and you're trying to use Klaviyo as like a vehicle to push your content out there, like I'll be the first one to tell you don't want to do it. Now, the other one is Kit. So now this is if you're primarily a content creation business, or you have a part of your business that's heavy content, influencer, email newsletter. Again, there's a difference between an email blast on Klaviyo and an email newsletter on Kit. If you have a newsletter product, you want to be on Kit. Now, there's nothing wrong with having all three. It doesn't triple the problems in your business. You are paying some different memberships, but they're not that expensive. And what happens is, say HubSpot, like Tom threw in that he feels HubSpot's expensive. You don't want to have all your contacts on HubSpot, because the more contacts you have on HubSpot, the more expensive it becomes. And someone who's on your email newsletter, you don't need your sales team dealing with in HubSpot. Now, in your email newsletter, you could sell something in the form of an ad, and when that person clicks on it and buys, they could then, depending on what else you're using, end up on your Klaviyo or your HubSpot, because they're now a buyer. And then you don't want all your buyers only showing up on your email newsletter CRM. So you're probably going to want to have at least two if you have a newsletter in your business. Kit for the newsletter, and then either Klaviyo or HubSpot. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions?
How many newsletters do you have?
Oof. A lot. In the Kit space?
Yeah.
In the Kit space, we have one that's about to launch, a Wizards of Ecom one that's about to launch. I'm saying we, but mostly Andres. We're gonna have a Salsa Kings 1 or 2, right? Like the move of the week, and a 1 or 2 on that side. I'm trying to encourage everyone that works in Bluebird, just in Bluebird period, to start their own. So Racheli is gonna be starting her own, having to do with the psychology of business or the psychology of money or something. So that'll be, I'd say, within the month 5. Outside of that, it's just other businesses with different softwares, not Kit. Yeah.
Cesar, one
Cesar,
last question.
can you spell the one for the newsletter? Kit. Yeah, Kit, K-I-T. Yeah, he says, I'd say that Klaviyo has a great integration with Shopify to pull and segment your audience. Absolutely.
In every newsletter, you're sending them to an Amazon link, correct?
Not necessarily. Yeah. It depends on your newsletter, but I would say in every newsletter you put out, there should be at least one ad placement. I would avoid, as tempting as it is, I would avoid, if you have an ad placement, I'd avoid a bunch of other links on your newsletter personally. Yeah. But again, there's a rebel's guide to every good rule. So maybe break all the rules and put 50 in there and see what happens. But just as a rule of thumb, to be on the good side of things, try to have one. Yeah.
What would you recommend to get started with Walmart? I mean, once you're in, it's so, you know, it's a big company, of course, and don't, you know, what do you recommend to get started with it? And just, the sales are very low, and, I mean, I don't think they're gonna kick you off the platform, but maybe. But I'm just wondering, yeah, do you have any, I mean, and I guess.
Could you say your, I'm drawing a blank again, but can you remember, can you tell me what the product is? You don't have to say the brand, but like, what's the product?
Oh, the product is towels, I just sell towels, yeah.
Yeah, well,
Camp towels, like camp towels.
like what?
Camp towels, like for the outdoor industry, camp towels.
Yeah, well, Walmart has a lot to do with if the product, very few exceptions, but if the product sells really well in the store, it's probably going to do really well online. If it doesn't, there's not a lot of levers you can throw to get it to start, even running ads. Their ads have like, the stuff TikTok's about to come out with in ads over the next week or so is now going to be on par with what you could do on Walmart. Put it like that. So like there's not a lot of levers you can throw like you can on Amazon to do some different things. And certain things people just don't buy when they go to Walmart. Towels, and I would say camp towels should be one of those things I would have thought did okay.
Well, I mean.
Are you doing
it's
anything?
Steady, but it's not.
Well, you might have hit
the bill.
You might.
It's, you know, I mean, couple of dollars here and there.
All of these platforms love one thing, and that's external traffic going to the site and buying. So if you want to boost up your Walmart and get a lot more exposure and get Walmart to show you some love, send some traffic to Walmart that is buying, and you'll get a lot of love for it.
How would you do that? What do you mean, send traffic?
If you had an email list or an email newsletter, you could consistently send traffic there. If you don't have an email or a social media, not a great deal you could do affordably because you don't own any traffic. Right, but do you mind sharing how many sales a day on a given SKU? Like what's your best SKU?
Oh, for Walmart? Oh, what, sales a day? No, it doesn't even come like that anymore.
Oh, okay, so then
maybe one sale a week or something.
Try to
anything with Walmart.
try to get together like 30, 40 people. Count me in as one. Just send me a link. I'll go in and I'll just buy it. You don't have to give me a refund, nothing like that. I'll just buy it. But try to gather together some people that will just go in and buy that product. Because it shouldn't take much to really get their attention and jumpstart it. And Walmart doesn't track it the same way, or not anywhere near as good as it does, Amazon does for that sort of thing. But you should be able to do that. I also believe you can use, we haven't mentioned this one in a while, Rebate Key. Yeah. Amazon dropped the hammer on them as far as their connection and how we can use rebates to launch products. Having said that, people are still using it to this day with no problem. I would not do it on Amazon, but you can do Rebate Key to Walmart. I bet you if you did Rebate Key to Walmart and you got a bunch of people here or that you know to go in there and buy the product across like a 7 to 10 day period, I bet you'd see a pretty big leap, especially since you're not even getting sales every day.
No.
That's what I would do. Yeah. And now if your camp towels are also this not so obvious color, like maybe they're this like, I don't know, fuchsia, and most people are not used to fuchsia camp towels, there's a possibility that it's just not a good fit for Walmart. Any other questions? All right, is it next week when we're at the tank?
2 weeks.
Oh, in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, our meetup's at the tank, just so you guys know, which is the Tank Brewery close by here. Yeah, Tom?
You didn't mention Milo.
What?
Like I said, there's a lot of tools. As a matter of fact, I moved away from Milanote. Yeah. We want to go purely to Notion. I think Moises is still messing around with Milanote, but we'd like to get everything on Notion and away from Milanote. I canceled my Milanote. I think we still have 1 or 2 active in the company, but it's really good. But there's different tools. There's a lot of little tools throughout the way that I just didn't make the top 10 list. Yeah, but really good.
Carlos, are your revenues with Amazon, are they growing every year? I mean, every time I get a newsletter, they're raising fees. I I mean, it just got, are you?
Profits are going down. Profits are going down like everybody else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what's gonna happen?
You got to adapt. I mean, a product that I've been talking about for a while that I want to launch, the gummy mix. There's going to be so many new things that I do with it that I've never done on any of the other brands because the climate right now on Amazon is just so different than it's ever been. To be honest, the hardest part about launching this brand, the next one I do, whatever one it winds up being, first of all, you guys will know, but the hardest part's going to be kind of my why as to why I'm launching it, and that is I want to constantly, I don't want to be too far away from my last launch on a product and still be coming up here in front of you guys talking about how to launch products. So that'll just start feeling like, what? And my motivation for my other brands was very money. It was to be able to get ribeye whenever I wanted and not, it was very like money driven. And not that I'm very happy to receive more money, but the hunger is not as like, it's a different type of hunger now. It's also like, well, if I did take a year off, like everything's gonna be fine. So it's gonna be different to get in that mindset. Also, the quality of the people that I've been able to hire that work with me, work for me, whatever you want to say, is unreal. Like the people that I have there, just some of these people have been with me for so long and they just reached a point where they're so good and I'm like, man, I'd put that person against, I got some catalog people on my team that I would just be like, I'd put them against the CEO of any of these other companies out there. So I just have a really, really good team and I'm learning how to do it even better. Most people smarter than me. So when I bring this other brand in, I think I maybe need to log into my Amazon account once a week. That's gonna be very different for me. I lived in that account before. So there's a lot of new things with this one, and I wonder if my hunger and my why for doing it are so different. I'm not constantly plugged in, logging into the account as much as I used to do it, like so emotionally attached, like how that's gonna translate to how I do the brand overall. And I'm just as excited about, digital products and newsletters, and I got a lot of cool stuff with the community. Like this has turned into something that's like not a random start thinking about it the morning of Saturday type of thing. Like there's about 15 people on the back end to put these events together. That's a pretty big payroll, So my main motivation is just different than what it used to be. I bet you on my next one, it'll be one of my more profitable brands though, because I'm not gonna do the same things that I did on my other ones. If I launch this one the same way I did my other ones, then that's the past. Like those strategies everyone's doing that now, It's gonna be very heavy. It's gonna be Shopify first. That's crazy. I've never had a Shopify site that I did for my brand. We avoided them because we wanted to sell to big box retail stores. But it's gonna be a Shopify first approach with a very strong email newsletter approach and leveraging video of some form, short form or long form on YouTube.
Why Shopify not BigCommerce? Because Shopify, I mean, they abandoned, during COVID, I couldn't get in touch with them. And I just gave up my site because I said, I can't get in touch with these people. BigCommerce was on, they're 24 hours.
Why do you think that is?
Why do I think what?
Why do you think that was? Like what conclusion did you get?
Shopify was just, greedy and just trying to cut back and not pay people and keep the phones. I mean, that's.
I don't know. I wasn't.
It was just totally screwed up. I mean, I couldn't get them on I needed it. I had a website. I was just trying to get done.
I try to not hold anything against anyone during the time of COVID. Like it was a crazy time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know some people decided on day one to fire everyone. We decided to keep everyone and figure out how to keep everyone. And we did, thankfully. I don't know if that's what Shopify did, but why Shopify instead of BigCommerce? with BigCommerce and all these other ones, even WordPress, like I still use WordPress on a lot of stuff. I love WordPress, but you pretty much need to have someone on staff or constantly be hiring to fix stuff with these other sites. Shopify, never. The amount of plugins that you can get at a cost to do stuff on Shopify, that would be cost prohibitive on a lot of these other sites. So I say, my opinion is the reason Shopify is the best player out there when it comes to that. But if you love BigCommerce and it's doing good for your business, do it.
It was just so bad. I mean, it was just so bad.
I'd reach out and tell them. Maybe they'll give you a discount. Oh, one thing I forgot to say in here that I promised I'd do in the beginning is these softwares, they all have competitors.
Yeah, well,
They all have competitors. Something we used to do, and now we're just using AI for it, is just set an alert when these things go to renew. First of all, try to get on their annual plan once you know it works so you can save some money. But before your annual plan goes to renew, reach out to them and tell them you're considering not, or have a VA do it, reach out, considering not renewing. And I'm considering going with this other one. In almost every case, we get a few months worth of discount on each of these softwares. That's pretty considerable. When you're looking at on an annual plan getting 2 months off and shaving 3 more months off, you're pretty much getting the software for half price. And all you got to do is reach out. But if you want fancy scripts on how to do it, use AI. Candace, you had a question.
Oh, well, I was just gonna say, oh, do you still have your Helium
Thank you.
affiliate link? But I'm
Yes.
like, oh, well,
I do.
okay.
Yeah.
I could do that on the chat.
Yeah. Yeah.
My other question was, I was gonna ask you this answer, but let me ask you now. When you have, I guess this is kind of on the subject, but when you have a shipping label,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have 30 days to send in that box, what happens if you don't send it in the 30 days because you decide, oh, I'm gonna wait, or something happened with inventory? Do you blow that money, or what happens?
I've always gone on and either if you still have access to the refund, like reimburse button, I would do it. If not, I've always created a case and just explained what happened, and they wound up honoring it.
Okay.
But it's been a while since I've done that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Carlos, TikTok versus YouTube, where would you put more of your energy and time? Or
Oh boy.
TikTok versus YouTube, right?
Well, we're live streaming on both of them, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I get you. I think. In what way? Because that's
You know, again, with just e-commerce mindset.
e-commerce.
Right,
YouTube.
YouTube.
Oh no! Hold up. E-commerce. So you're selling. Your goal is which one to sell products.
Correct. TikTok
Shop.
Thank you.
100% TikTok Shop. But if we're talking about where does TikTok Shop stack up against Amazon, I would put them second as far as third-party platforms, but we are talking about a very, very, very distant second. Like not saying that they're the runner, like that's very misleading to say that they're second. We're talking about 99%. So, I mean, just not on the map. Yeah.
Yeah, second after Amazon, or second after other.
I like TikTok. Look, if you're looking to start selling online, and you want to sell physical products, and you want to know where to go because you're like, screw Amazon, I've had enough. Right? Damn. I can't believe I'm going to say this.
Wow.
TikTok Shop.
So that's-
Yes.
For a beginner, it's better.
Yeah, well, it's good for a beginner. It's good for a non-beginner. I mean, what are your options? Walmart? eBay? Like, what are we? Because we're talking about marketplaces. We're talking about marketplaces. Because if you set up a Shopify and you don't know how to run ads, like, you might as well have a monthly Excel to house all your information. But like, yeah, that's. But like, because you need to drive traffic, so most people don't know how to drive traffic, which is why they went to a third-party marketplace.
TikTok's the first social to incorporate
Yeah.
e-commerce.
Yeah, 'cause-
solve traffic.
Yeah, and you're like, well, no, let me try to sell on Facebook. Let me sell my physical products on Facebook. I was like, no, they have Marketplace. That's where you can sell some used stuff you have around the house. And then Instagram. But if you're talking about Instagram, the same things you would do on Instagram to try to sell are the same things you would do on TikTok. And one of them has a shop and it's not even going to be closed. So yeah, it's TikTok.
Why Instagram? Like, because I remember they couldn't put like a shop or something like that. Why?
How often do you buy? Who here buys on Instagram? Right.
Why Instagram didn't do anything on TikTok did? Because they think that if Instagram tried to do something, they would definitely like, because they think Instagram has more trust than TikTok. If they try to sell, they will probably.
Oh, well, let me say this. TikTok is the answer. I think it's going to be Facebook in the sense of social media. Facebook meaning Instagram, WhatsApp, and all that. My gut tells me on social, we're always going to call the AI we use to search stuff ChatGPT, just ChatGPT it, right? But you might use Gemini, you might use all these different ones. I think we're probably going to call it like TikTok it or something, but I don't think TikTok wins like long term on this. Like I think it might be Instagram on the social side that does it. Like I think Zuckerberg's doing some stuff that like to count him out is not a good idea. I really do think I think Facebook wins. The Blue app, the Instagram.
And what do you think about Whatnot?
Whatnot, yeah, great. Whatnot's great too. But to start for a brand new seller, I wouldn't say Whatnot over TikTok, but well, yeah, Whatnot's really cool. How many of you feel comfortable being on video? Like how many of you, if you came up here right now, would feel comfortable talking in front of the camera, right? But most of you know. Now, live streaming has a bit of a fear factor to it, and like, what are you going to say? We were just talking for a while about, I think I need to be a journalist to write an email newsletter and no one sees your face. What are you going to say when you get up here? You know what I mean? Like, live stream's got an intimidation component to it, so Whatnot, for most people, is dead on arrival.
Then Shopify is part of Google, right?
No,
No,
Shopify's part of Shopify.
it's Shopify.
Right.
Okay, but then the moment that YouTube decide to go heavy on shop, they will destroy it.
I think YouTube wins, like, marketplace war. That's my prediction.
If they try
So-
to do it, they will.
I don't think they're not trying to do it. They have YouTube. YouTube has Google Shop. I'm sorry, Google has Google Shop. Google has YouTube. They have robust ads already there, like some of the best out there, period. They have the creators. They have the monetization in place for the creators. They already have the rack that can list things that you can buy from your creators. The merch.
Why not yet? Because why is
Man, if I knew how those people think, I'd be a lot better off than I am now. What I think the only, like if they offered it right now, I think the only thing that they'd be missing is an FBA network. Because Amazon has let sellers know, like if you're gonna sell on a third-party marketplace, you don't need to house your stuff. Like we have an army of robots that'll take care of that. TikTok is going in that direction. Like TikTok does have that, but you gotta be a pretty big seller to do it.
But how does TikTok Shop win? Is it that you have to do the fulfillment? Because, for example, like when I put products on TikTok, by the time I pay the creator, or I do the shipping, and like you have to really calculate your costs.
Yeah,
That's-
there's a lot of fees that you need to be aware of on any platform. TikTok has some different fees. It depends if this happens or that happens. But the first thing you said is after I paid the creator who plugged it. But on Amazon, that's like paying a creator on TikTok to get them to do something, that's a fixed fee that you know. You at least got to pick that. If you run ads, you don't know how many clicks you're gonna have to pay for before you get a sale. So at least it's a known. If this person sells this, I'm willing to give them X percentage. You could adjust that percentage.
But the creators I found are only willing to do like 2 videos and then they move on.
Yeah, but how many?
So I get-
How many? Okay, this is really good. If you can move the mic closer to you in case somebody can't hear you. No, this is really good what you're saying. So how much time have you put into looking for creators on TikTok?
So I've sent out a couple hundred messages.
Are you using YFD, your first dollar?
No.
So,
The first time I've heard of that was when I came here.
so where are you sending the messages? Like how are you finding?
TikTok.
Right. I would start with using something like YFD or we're rolling something out probably like in the next 6 weeks, which will be Creator Blueprint, which is gonna be like YFD, but better. I would team up with creators that
Are hungry?
are hungry. Yeah, no, for real, that are hungry, that you can send a brief to, that you can communicate with, and even then, all of them are not gonna be a good fit. But little by little, you're grabbing, one from each round and you're building that up. You don't need that many to do some good damage. So I would just say, don't quit on that. Like, keep trying to look for those creators. Also, within the group, there's a growing group of creators that are willing to create some content.
So
Yeah.
Is it that, I'm
No,
sorry.
go for it.
Is it that you have to do creator and ads? Because I thought once you get a good creator, then you should just win. But it seems as though now, because so much is being thrown at creators, if I showed you the creators that like even signed up, one has almost 1 million followers. And I kid you not, she has so much products being thrown at her. She did one video of the shirt in her hand while she was wearing someone else's shirt, so, which is on Marketing 101, no, right?
Mhm.
But it's almost like if you're not putting ad with it and having an ad spend cater to your TikTok as well as creators.
Or remember,
you're
you
also not
you
gonna
should
get-
run ads. You should run ads. It doesn't mean you need to create a massive ad budget for TikTok, but you should be running a little something. However, what you said though to me, even like your body language when you were saying it, you were like kind of disgusted with this person's, the way they were approaching this. Like, do you even want your product mixed up into that?
No.
Right, so something I learned that was a shocker to me was, first, a lot of people in the group wanted to get paid, still do, want to get paid to do these videos on TikTok for products. But everyone was like, oh my God, but I can't because I need to get, like they want to pay me a commission, and to get a commission, I need to have 5,000, 10,000, I need to have 5,000 followers. And then it became like, how do I game the system to get these fake followers? But what happened was with Erica, that I learned was, it just blew me away. We reached the amount of followers, right? There was actually a video of him dancing. What was the Boogie song? Cotton Eye Joe, is that what it is? Oh, you guys are dancing. So like, video gets the amount of subscribers. She reaches out to these people, and the first thing they said is create another TikTok account from zero. They didn't want the followers. They didn't want their product mixed up amongst 50 other products that the person was promoting. What they wanted to do is they wanted to work with somebody on a recurring basis to where every month you created X amount of videos and that entire profile became all about that product. And that was a lot more powerful. That was more valuable for them to do. So if this person, unless they're selling thousands of each unit that they get and you're trying to fire sell something, doesn't even sound like the right creator. It sounds like your criteria for what is a good creator is sort of off. But find someone that's hungry, that is willing to work with you on a recurring monthly, and that you can put together a nice brief for on the 15 to 30 videos you want per month, and that they look the part. And that's what works.
And that's on your first dollar.
Well, you can apply that anywhere. You can apply that anywhere, but your first dollar makes it a lot easier.
I'll be the first one to sign up for your Creator Blueprint.
You should.
Let's test it.
I think you should. I'm gonna. Erica and I and the team plan on going all in on it when we launch it. Yeah. Yeah. The Discord's done. I mean, we're just.
There's a new thing in TikTok about that the ad spend goes to the top creators. It's GR or something.
I've seen it. I haven't really dug into it.
They're complaining that the organic is going away mostly because the ad spend is going to the top. Because you spend $10,000 and you want 5-to-1 conversion, TikTok finds the system, finds the creator for you, the AI system. So now they're saying that all the ad spend is going to those people. That's what I get. All the influencers are complaining about it.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many different ways. On my other TikTok account, Real Carlos Alvarez,
Yeah.
they pay you. TikTok pays you anywhere between $800 and $1,600 per million views that you get.
Yeah.
And we just had this one video at like 1.2 million like a week ago, and they're paying.
I think it's TikTok, I'm talking about TikTok shops.
Yeah.
So maybe TikTok ads is different, right, the shops.
TikTok ads is different from shops.
The
Yeah.
shops cover the shop.
Yeah.
1.2 million views. Didn't have an ad for that.
1.2 million views, some content that we created.
Wow.
No, we've done even more than that.
Really?
Yeah. But, okay.
So, yeah, you like your blueprint creator.
Yeah, for sure. In the meantime, though, it's not like choose one or the other. Join YFD. Go join your first dollar. Hit me up. I'll send you a link to it. It should give you a discount. It also kicks something back to us.
It's called Join to the First Dollar.
Your first dollar.
Your first dollar.
Yeah, it's got 16,000 plus creators in there waiting to be pitched on something. Yes, you put out there what you're willing to pay for something. You can go in there and look to see what's getting traction so you can craft your pitch for that. And there's all kind of products in there. The only people I know that aren't, it costs 50 bucks a month. The only people I know that are not making more than that per month are the ones that are not really using it.
GMB Max, that's what it's called.
GMV Max. Okay. Yeah. Any other questions?
So can that route you to, you know, like how you were saying he needs Walmart traffic, you were telling him he needs, like, can you get someone from YFD? I don't know if this works, maybe this sounds like a little stupid question, but can you get that creator to help you push your product to like a Walmart? Or is that a stupid question?
You could. You could have those creators go on there and buy and leave a review. They'll do anything. Now, you don't want to get caught up gaming the review system or anything like that, but you could use it to send some traffic. What they're mostly positioned for is for creating content about a product that could drive it to a TikTok shop. And the reason why it comes up so much as Amazon sellers here is a percentage of those people, a big chunk, don't want to buy on TikTok shop, and they wind up going off platform to where they have a Prime account and buying, which is inadvertently creating a funnel of external traffic going to Amazon and buying. That's why it's such a hot topic for us. But your question, whose question was it? Chris, was it yours about what would you, after Amazon, what would be the platform? Yeah, it would be TikTok. Or yours? Yeah, it would be TikTok. 100%. Yeah.
We do no ads done on TikTok, and we have a couple of resale products that we sell, and my wife is more involved with it on TikTok, so I think we give them just a few dollars for each item sold, and like every day we probably.
Hey, Marty. Thank you, Marty.
So like hands off.
Oh, yeah, Marty's here.
Just order the product, maybe once a week we'll package all the product, and then we order the stuff.
Thank you, Marty. Thank you, Peaches.
That's TikTok. TikTok. Yeah.
Paul.
We do merch.
What's up, everybody?
Our TikTok orders are rather low, so we just do it.
Owlet Ting, how's it going? Marty. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap up. Again, a quick list: Sellerize, on-site support, Perpetua, Keepa, Data Dive, Jungle Scout, Process Street, Loom, Gemini, and then Kit, HubSpot, Klaviyo. Those are the tools. Thank you so much for coming out. We meet again, obviously, every Saturday. For those that watch on the stream for the first time on TikTok, we stream every Saturday at 1 p.m. So we'll see you next week. And what else?
Great stuff, Carlos.
Thank you. We have a YouTube meetup after this. Starting at 4 p.m., we have a YouTube meetup after this. So if the conversation's going to keep going, if we can just move it to the conference room so that we can get set up here for the YouTube meetup. Thank you. Thank you, everybody on the stream. Gracias, Peaches, Mari, Ting, and everybody else. Thank you.